for day 3 of the Olympic qualifying tournament in Latvia. It is the Philippines taking on Georgia here in Riga. Julia Montesano and Mark Clark are joining you in commentary. And Mark, no doubt the Philippines and their fans will still be riding high after the historic win last night.
Hey, I'm riding high after their historic win last night because they just came and put a performance on the floor that the whole of the Philippines, 2 o'clock in the morning, I think, in the Philippines when they finished that game. I don't think anyone would have missed it. It's such a passionate basketball country that they'd have loved every moment of that. And I think there was a little bit in their way, a little bit of shock that they beat such a great team in Latvia. Always tough, though, to bounce back, especially against a team like this, Georgia, who've got so much to prove, so disappointed in their first game. Toniko Shengelia is going to play today. That's the best news for Georgia. But they've got a huge mountain to climb. 19 points is not just a win, but if they can do it, that man going out there now, who is their talisman, their leader, their everything, is going to be fundamental to them getting the win over a team that's going to have, at some point, a little bit of a downer after last night's high. And also, don't forget, less than 24 hours ago, a lot of people played a lot of minutes. There was only 30 minutes that weren't covered by the starters in that game. So this Georgian team, you would expect them, with Coach Gidzic, to go after the Philippines early and make this a real physical challenge.
So 19 is the magical number for Georgia tonight, but the Philippines, fresh off taking down the world's 6th ranked team, Latvia, in a clinical display here at Arena Riga last night. The game was also their first Olympic qualifying tournament win and their first victory against a European team in a FIBA competition since 1960. So all kinds of records were shattered last night.
Well, Coach Cohn in the press conference after just said this team is beginning to do things like that. You know, they got their first Asian Games championship, first one for 60 years last October. So this is a team that's setting records, doing firsts. And once you have some momentum, great things can happen. And great things are happening for this team right now. I'm looking forward to this because there's some real challenges for each team. And I think this is going to be a great one.
So let's now stand for the national anthems of Philippines and Georgia.
National anthem of Georgia.
Two coaches coming together to exchange some gifts, the players as well, coming together in the middle of the court. It's a really great tradition here in FIBA basketball, and of course it's been great to see throughout the entire tournament. It's the equation for Philippines: win and they're through. Georgia need to win by 19 or more. Today's referees are on your screen now. They have just as big a job as the players, of course. And today they are Ademir Zarapovic from Bosnia and Herzegovina, Omar Bermudez from Mexico, and Kerem Baki from Turkey. The Philippines fans are in the house. They follow their team nearly everywhere they go. A good contingent of Georgian fans in the house as well. A really nice crowd packed in today at Arena Riga to see these two teams battle it out for a semi-final spot. We know Latvia have gone through. Despite the loss last night, they have booked their place. They've done enough to get to the semi-finals. Now it's about these two teams battling it out here tonight in a high-stakes game. Of course, Cameroon and Brazil coming up next as well. So another high-stakes game. For that one, it's just win and they're in. So a few different equations here at Arena Riga tonight, but it's great to see the fans showing out. Let's take a closer look at the two teams, and we'll start with Georgia. Of course, a really disappointing result against Latvia on the first night. They need to leave it all out on the line to qualify tonight. And of course, when you spoke about that news about Shengelia, he's going to be huge coming into the lineup tonight. And we'll confirm their starters for you now. And you can see him in the lineup.
And it's not just him, the player, it's him, the effector. Mentally, they should have been able to deal with it better, but it was a mental thing for them to get over not having him on the floor. Because there was guys that he is almost mentored and has been the inspiration for some of the guys on this team, such as Alexander Mamukashvili, who, a great article on the FIBA site about how he looked up to Shengelia as he was coming through as a young player. And to lose that influence, that experience is a big, big deal. But the only guy who came to play for Georgia on game day one was Mamukashvili. He was the only guy in double figure. He played a lot of minutes, and he was the only one who looked like he had the mentality to try and overcome the loss of Shengelia. Coach Jigic was embarrassed, he said, after the game, and I hope this team put that type of feeling onto the floor, because if they don't, this team with their emotion is just going to roll them over like they rolled over Latvia last night. And that starting lineup, obviously the same lineup. Those guys played all but 30 minutes of the game, so the bench came in, but for a very small amount of time. They're going to have to pick themselves up, get out on the floor and do it again. I mean, we talked a lot about Soto, a lot about this guy last night, because he was unbelievably good in every part of the game, not just his points. He came up with steals, rebounds, did everything he needed to do. Justin Brownlee is a superstar of Philippine basketball on the national team. He's been much lauded in the league as well with Coach Cone. Like, one of the guys who I don't think got the credit was Fajardo last night. You know, he's been on the national team since 2014. I saw him at the World Cup there. And he's a legend, you know, 35 years old now. Always carried this Kraken nickname because he's like a big sea monster, because in Philippines he's a huge guy in the league. And so like that combination with him and Soto was the thing that they built the performance on last night. A lot of inside touches, and the Kraken, there he is in shot. Got it done because he just works hard, nice touch. But if Georgia don't bring their attitude, forget their technical skill, if they don't bring their attitude physically and mentally to try and take this Philippine team on, as we say, less than 24 hours ago, we're still celebrating. Georgia should come out here and make this a 40-minute physical battle, and then they've got the technicality. They don't have to be 19 up at the half, as long as they're up. And then as long as they're up like 10 going into the fourth, 8 up, they've got a chance. They've got to build this into it, because the Philippines will be tired. They ain't going to come back in the fourth.
Well, we are nearly ready to go here in Riga, where it's the Philippines and Georgia going head-to-head. All eyes on the semi-finals, these two teams. Welcome to Arena Riga in Latvia. It is the Philippines and Georgia doing battle on day 3 of this Olympic qualifying tournament in Riga. Georgia need to claim victory by 19 or more points to book their place in the semis. Philippines win and they're through. We know Latvia have done enough to get there. And it's Fajardo making an impact already. Mark, you spoke about him at the start of the game, and he's got the first opportunity again tonight.
And the disappointing thing on this, if we get a replay of it, is Tadze, he's an athlete, he's got strength, size, And Fajardo was not going to beat him on speed. He just squared up and just come with a weak block. He's going to give him two easy free throws. Got to get himself down low in the block and play some defense on Fajardo. Make him remember he played 30-odd minutes last night. He's 35 years old. He's not going to want to go 35 hard again. Don't send him to the free throw line early with a cheap foul. Good option for the Philippines to throw it inside. They did it last night. Got great build it from the inside out.
Unfortunately for Bitadze, he breathes a sigh of relief. He's missed both free throws, Fajardo, uncharacteristic. And there's the captain, Shengelia, out there for his first game in the Olympic qualifying tournament, and a dime to Bitadze!
That's what they need. They need that from Bitadze. Make some statements physically. Super little pass from Shengelia, and he finished it really well.
And how much does Shengelia enable that, you know? Like that confidence in his big to throw the dime straight away. And we saw Bitadze, that's the most confident he's looked all tournament.
And you're responsible to the man, aren't you? He's a legend. He gives you a pass there, you've got to finish. And he finished with a lot of authority that time.
Here's Andronikashvili. Thomason. A nice pull up there, and it's a good start for Georgia.
Thomason, he played minutes game day one, really worked hard, just couldn't, like the rest of Georgia, couldn't get any offense going. That's a really nice shot in rhythm. It's a great start at the offensive end for Georgia. They got the turnover as well. I do fear for the Philippines and the physical challenge there. Less than 24 hours. It's a tough schedule for them.
Yeah, playing last night and getting the early game today.
And Georgia have had a whole day off.
Yeah.
And you know, Coach Kitchen have been challenging them about, hey guys, you know, how did you feel? Well, you've let people down, your country, everything. They'll come out here with some attitude, and that's it's clear they've done that the first couple of possessions with the basketball.
Soto and Ramos getting involved for the first time for the Philippines. Newsom, Ramos pulls up, and Andronikashvili can get going.
It's a great challenge by Mamukashvili on the perimeter shot as well.
How about the pace from Ranti down the floor?
This is the guy who needs the ball. This that Brownlee get a touch.
You know the night he had last night, but Mamukashvili read him like a book. And Andronikashvili can get things going. This is a very bold start from Georgia.
Oh, his physicality, his activity defensively is already a factor. Mamukashvili.
Bitadze for the triple. Doesn't quite fall for him.
Well, two things for the Philippines. Soto hasn't had a touch, and they had Brownlee bring it down, but he was looking to pass. That's not what he was doing last night when he was in that sort of role. They'll be fine if they just get into the game, and they've just thrown it away, and they look like a team that is still where they were at the end of the game last night. They look a little tired, they'll be fine. They need a spark here. Someone's got to get them going. Wouldn't be surprised if Coach Cohn took a timeout if it doesn't stop this poor start soon. They get to 8 down or 10 down, he's going to have to take the timeout unless they get something going with the basketball. They're very static. Yeah, he talks about running the triangle offense. The triangle offense is very much about sharing the basketball, getting shots you want. They haven't shared the basketball after that first possession.
Shengelia, wouldn't this be big? Falls short this time. Brownlee now, what can he do? The leading scorer last night, Kai Soto, emerging right in front of our eyes. There's the touch, but he doesn't get the basket to go with it.
Hey, if there's any Latvian fans they won't recognize this team. They didn't miss a thing last night.
Oh, Shengelia, that's a brutal crossover. I don't know if they're going to count the basket. I think he waved it away, yeah.
Caught it on the floor. The foul was on the crossover.
Yeah. But that was brutal, wasn't it?
See, and that's what he does, you know, the pass to the inside, the take responsibility. The offense before, he was literally telling people what screens to set. Everybody's accountable to him. And they really have come out of the gate really well.
Andronikashvili going baseline. Soto's right there with him, but so is Bitadze. Already improved effort from him. Spinning around Ramos and making use of that mismatch.
Oh, super effort. There's the timeout. Georgia have got what they wanted at the offensive end. Philippine defense looks a little tired down the other end. They look a little bit leggy. They're going to be fine. I'm sure they're going to be fine. They just need to refocus. The one great thing about the triangle is you can use it to get yourself going. Let's listen to the timeout.
Exactly the way we didn't want to start, fellas. They've got good momentum. All right. Okay, right now they've got good momentum like we did against Latvia. We told you the first couple of minutes, it's going to be hard. Get yourself into the game. All right? We got to get ourselves into the game a little bit. Make sure we settle down. Two things. Number one, move the ball. All right? Let's move the ball, move the people. That's what we do best. Move the ball on offense. All right? Number two.
So here's the hot start from Georgia, an 8-0 run to begin this game. Bitadze with 4 of those 8 points, the slam first up, then he got a bucket at the end. But what a difference. I know Shengeli hasn't got on the score sheet, but he's run this team from the get-go. He's made such a big difference.
Absolutely right. Mentality-wise, they're a different group. 7 shots to 4 shots. The offensive rebounds, the steals have given them the more opportunities. But as coach said, move the ball, move the defense. The other thing we talked about the other day about Georgia, they're not the deepest team in this competition either. There's only 4 guys that played in the World Cup, 5 to 8 guys that played in the FIBA competition window. So a lot of inexperience. They don't have to panic. They just have to do what they do.
Soto to Brownlee. They don't have much time left. Ramos is going to put up a deep triple. That's not going to work for them. Shot clock violation. The bench is looking a bit stunned for the Philippines.
And there are guys on that bench who do and have played minutes in other championships, but it's not Coach Cohn's style to really run a lot of rotations. It's this is the 5 that did it last night. These are the 5 that are going to do it today.
Shengelia stepping around Fajardo.
He's got muscle issues in those thighs. I'm a bit worried about that Euro step.
Oh, Thomason! Blowing it up from long range. And here's a chance for Kai Soto at the other end. Oh, Bitadze gets in his way. Shengelia, Thomason for back-to-back triples. It falls to Andrei Kashvili. Mamukelashvili has a go, and that rattles in! It's exactly what the Philippines did last night, but it's Georgia tonight. Everything is going their way.
Absolutely, but they're working hard to get it. Offensive rebounds, they're not going 100% or anything crazy like that. They've had second shot opportunities.
A 14-0 run for Team Georgia to start this game. Philippines yet to score. Soto still can't change that. And they're off again through Thomason. Mamukelashvili. Shengelia, the captain. Ramos. All eyes ahead. He finds Newsom. They have to work out a way to get Brownlee involved. And that's not going to help again. The captain, Aguila, can't believe it. But Thomason, what a sweet shot this was. And then Bitadze on the defensive end. Getting in Kai Soto's way, it's not an easy task. And then Mamukelashvili knocks that one down from the corner. All these players we spoke about in the last game, Mamukelashvili, Thomason, the need for them to step up, and here they are.
Well, Coach Cohn's gone for the experience off the bench, the 37-year-old Aguila in the game. It's a good move, I think. Get some experience out on the floor. No one needs to panic.
Oh, Bitadze finds a lane, and his second dunk of the game!
They might need to panic right now.
Oh, yeah. Wowee. We haven't called Brownlee's name that much. Soto on the bench. Here is Justin Brownlee. They needed it! They needed that!
There you go to what you get. Give him a little down screen, give him half a step. That's the first time Georgia haven't closed him out really hard. Too short a closeout. Woo.
Shots aren't dropping for Shengelia. But a 16-3 scoreline so far for Georgia. They'd be incredibly happy. Newsom, back-to-back threes for the Philippines, and they're in the game.
Contagious, yeah? Everything's contagious in this sport. Make one, you'll make another one.
Philippines fans in full voice now. Mamukelashvili, Bitadze, the two NBA guys share it around, and that is a beautiful finish. Stop it.
Super decision as well as the pass, because they wanted to go quick on the bounce. They took it away. Brownlee took it away. Just throw it up at the ring. Super play.
Newsom fouled on the approach. Take a look at this work here from Bitadze and Mamukelashvili. Bitadze with the slam first up. His second time heading upstairs. And then Mamukelashvili banking it in on the reverse. Don't mind that at all. They're going to take a rest here. Shengelia and Thomason. Sanadze into the game, as well as Korsantia.
And this for me is the important thing. They've got that great start, big time momentum. They've got to maintain it.
They've got to stop Brownlee. That's not the one they want to get going.
And Mamukelashvili did everything. He had his hand up. Brownlee's just tough. He's just a very good basketball player.
Sanadze trying to go underneath. Got fouled.
They won't be happy with the foul. It was a foul. They won't be happy they committed it because they stopped him. They forced him. They were forced him to take a tough one.
So Sanadze at the line, playing in Hungary at the moment. Just the 3 points and a couple of rebounds against Latvia. He's got a chance to work himself into the game now. Looks like Ochkikidze is going to come into the game for his first minutes as well, in place of Razian Jonikashvili.
Thomason wanted to get back in the game.
Yeah.
He saw him coming out and just assumed it would be him. I like the fact he wants to get back, because I think he could be a massive factor in this game.
So Sanadze able to make both free throws there. And some more subs coming onto the floor. And here he is, CJ Perez. We saw the Tissot buzzer beater yesterday from very long range. He's a last-minute specialist.
Far too early. I mean, he made 2 shots, one with about, what, 1 second on the clock, and one with about 3 seconds on the clock. There's far too much time left in the game.
We still back him. Here he is now. Aguila, the captain, to Brownlee. The top scorer last night, getting to work, feeding Soto, and Bitadze again. Interference.
That's going to help Soto settle down to get the call. Great penetration, great pass. Yeah, clearly on the way down.
So Ochkikidze now. His team's up by 10. 3 minutes left in this first period. Bitadze gets around the 2 Philippines bigs, and he gets himself another basket.
See, those are the options that Latvia don't have, and that they struggled. So the Philippines did push their defense up the floor. But with the Bitadze, they've got that option.
Ramos from the corner. That one rattles in.
It's like one of those, like the normal service is now restored. It's just taken them that long to get into this.
Mamukelashvili goes for a triple at the opposite end.
Mamukelashvili, for me, I know the mentality of Shengelia is important, but he has set the tone. Both ends of the floor. He's had a super start to the game.
He's going to head off the floor after this big 3. San Antonio Spurs big man. And then Bitadze, the Orlando Magic big man.
Small Georgian lineup on the floor right now.
Sanadze, Ochkikidze, Shengelia, Korsantia, and Jincharadze. The names out there for this Georgia team. Their fourth team foul.
You know, Bintadze and Mamukelashvili have been key factors. Their size has been an issue for the Philippines. Philippines, in this last 2 minutes, need to take advantage of the way the lineups look.
Soto finds himself free, but the pass wasn't quite there to Aguila. And then Perez sees it over the line.
You almost need to reverse the guys around and have Aguila come high. I mean, Soto's, again, a very complete basketball player for someone of his 2 meters 20. He's got a lot of options in his locker, a lot of skills.
6 turnovers to none.
Yeah.
It's really hurting the Philippines at the moment. Sanadze has a look. Ramos finds it. Brownlee finds a lane and a bucket.
While Justin Brownlee is on the floor, the Philippines have always got an amazingly high percentage option. Super smooth move.
26 points last night for Brownlee. 7 points already. We're going to head into the Georgia timeout. And here watch Coach Cicic has to say.
Put one dribble inside. Every team I play, whenever we have a big lead, then we start bullshitting. Now is not the time. Keep pound by pound, possession by possession, execute. Hey, go. Hey! First play, Corsa. Here. You come out here. Pass to Corsa, Ochki. Do the set the screen. Watch if they're gonna be physical, just fall. Let's go! Open play. Let's go.
Well, you can see who's holding everybody accountable.
Yep. Well, you can see here Brownlee knocking down the triple. He's been their difference maker so far in this tournament. They're calling him the Michael Jordan of the Philippines. I mean, let's go with it.
Oh, you've got Michael Jordan of the Philippines. You've got the Kraken Sea Monster. What a lineup this team has.
But I tell you what, Georgia looking the good so far. Up by 10. Minute 30 left in this first period.
And the points that Shengelia were making, we had a great start. We don't need to do anything else apart from carrying on doing that. Doesn't want any weak stuff, as he said. But while he's out there, while he's playing, they're in a good place.
Sanadze has an opportunity. This time drives. Korsantia thought about it too. Shot was well short.
And a wide open guy in the corner. That's the type of shot that Shengelia is talking about. Give it to the open guy, make the open shot.
Dwight Ramos. He had a positive game against Latvia. It falls to Brownlee, who gets fouled. They need him close to the rim. Not at the start of the game, like you said, he was looking for the pass, looking for a teammate. He's got to be the man.
Absolutely. And there's the issue that without having both of the bigs out of the game at the same time is the issue, I think, because there is no ring protection. There's no one filling the middle for Georgia.
Makes the first free throw. Of course, playing in Indonesia at the moment, Justin Brownlee. And in his time in the Philippines, he was a 6-time champion. Knows how to win, knows how to score, knows how to step up in big moments. Ochkikidze with pace now for Georgia. Thomason also using a bit of speed. Pulls up for a long two. It falls to Perez. This is his time, under a minute left. What can he produce?
I'll say yes. He just needs a little penetration or a screen.
He finds Soto instead. Up against the two bigs, but it was a travel.
Wow.
Tough call. So Ramos coming off the floor. And Chris Newsom back into the game. .25 plays 17. 20 seconds left in the first period. We know the magic number for Georgia's 19. They need to win this game by 19 or more to make it through. They've started this game super well, and Shengelia, his first basket! Counted, he says. I'm back. You can see what this man does for this team. All heart, all soul. He's carried them on his back throughout his entire career. He didn't take part in the first game of this tournament. He's at the line to put his team up by 11. He's controlled the tempo of this game, Shengelia. And he converts the three-point play. So 5 seconds left for Justin Brownlee to give the Philippines a hope. But the pass was too hot to Soto. Not quite going the Philippines' way. It was a completely opposite story to last night's game. But Georgia are the story. What a start by the men in red. The bench up and about as they huddle together to celebrate a really solid first quarter. And at the end of the first period, it's Georgia 28, leading Philippines 17. And the game stats will paint a picture that's all Georgia.
Well, they've recovered, the Philippines, haven't they, from that? It was pointless after 4 minutes or so. And they're at sort of normal numbers. They were outstanding last night. They had 32 in their first quarter. But Georgia, out of the blocks, inspired by Shengelia, yes. And in a lot of these best plays, whether he scores, he's going to be involved. You know, the first play, he's just going to ask Pintadze to finish, and he does it with some authority. And before that, when he had the poor foul, Shengelia just told him, no, we don't need that. I'm going to give you the ball. And he did at that time. And I just love the way that Pintadze, who we had big expectations of in game day one because he's a real quality player, just gave just an okay performance when his team needed him to step up. And he really has had a really excellent first quarter. He's all over these best plays. And again, he's involved with penetration. And the good thing about it for Georgia is that both bigs are very mobile, incredibly good at putting the ball on the floor, one or two bounces. So that this is more like the Georgia we expected to see, more like the top 20 team in the FIBA World Rankings. It's just, however poor the Philippines were, they've still got that 19-point margin. They can't play that margin. They've just got to give themselves the chance to, and we won't really get into it until the fourth quarter. The Philippines are now in the game. Brownlee started to play, and there he is. He's the man. He always is the man. Other players are having to play more minutes, and that for me is, if they get production out of them, the Philippines should still be okay, but that's a tough ask for people who don't normally play minutes.
Second period tipping off here in Riga, the capital of Latvia. It is Georgia leading the Philippines by 11 points. Pintadze and Mamoukelashvili have 8 points apiece. They've been huge. And Mamoukelashvili sets the tone again. Big basket from Mamu. Brownlee and Soto, what can they do for the Philippines? Their captain Aguila on the floor to start this second term. And Mamoukelashvili fouls.
That's his second foul, I think.
But at the other end, he's nailing it from long range. His 11th point of the game, and that is a beautiful shot by CJ Perez.
That's the important thing. Contributions off the guys coming off the bench for the Philippines. Got to take up some of the responsibility and slack.
Shengelia again with that quick step. There's no muscle fatigue there.
No. It's also a really difficult matchup for Aguila. He hasn't got the physical presence to keep him out the keyway.
5 points for Tornike Shengelia. Newsom now. Mamukulashvili doing a good job, but it does end up with Brownlee, the main man, double teamed. Justin Brownlee still finds a way, but a bit too long.
That's so smart by Mamukulashvili. With the time running down on the clock, it switched, but he came back and double teamed it. No time on the clock. Everyone was active away from the ball. That's players being players. That's just excellent recognition in a situation. And he is doing it at both ends. He has only picked up the 1 foul, so it's so important that he plays as many minutes as possible.
Thomason with the long range two, or the mid-range two.
Wow, great first half for Georgia.
And look at that, 9 turnovers for the Philippines, and Georgia have taken full advantage. 12 points from turnovers. Aguila, fiercely at the rim.
Wow.
That was nasty.
Just grabbed the ring, or he didn't grab it, he called it, so the referee had to call it, but. Okay, the 2 points is good, but the challenge sends a message. Pintate, and you see Shengelia talking to him straight away, you know. It's like, forget that, stay as focused as you've been so far. And that's what, Pintate's, he's 25, but he's a young 25 in lots of ways. And Shengelia has the position where he can say what he wants to, what is needed to every single player on this team, and he's doing that as well as playing great.
A good sub made by the Philippines. Fajardo back on the floor. Need a big body out there to contend with Pintate. But how about Shengelia?
Can't guard him. Shengelia, with the lineup they have at the moment, one of the front line has got a matchup that they can just go at. Coach Cohn's going to have to do something with his defense.
This game's blown wide open now. 37 plays 19. It's a 9-2 second period already for Georgia. But Newsom has a chance to head to the free throw line, just calm things down a bit. But Shengelia with authority down the lane. 7 points for the Georgia captain. Chris Newsom at the line. Misses the first. 10 points and 4 rebounds against Latvia for Chris Newsom.
Mamukulashvili is a handful for anyone, and Soto has him, and he has the foot speed to try and guard him. They've decided to leave Fajardo on Shengelia, and that is a tough ask for the Kraken.
Thomason thought about it and then finds a better spot and nails it! Thomason, he's a one-man three-point party at the moment. Timeout called, Georgia up by 20.
That's a superstar, both ends of the floor. The defensive effort has been exceptional. And because your defensive effort is exceptional, you're in rhythm going the other way. It's unrecognizable is the only way to describe the Georgia performance compared to the performance earlier in the week.
We're getting the ball up here, guys. Just go to the basket. Everybody just stay out on their man. We got to get in. We know it's a mismatch, a speed mismatch, and slide in. All right, we haven't practiced this. Go to a zone. All right. Jumar in middle, Ty. Justin. All right. Right. And New. All right. Okay. Try to clog up the middle a little bit. Make them get some shots outside.
So Georgia have began this second period the way they started the first as well. Outscored Philippines 12 points to 3. Thomason's been lining it up from long range. Shengelia we saw with the massive dunk to establish his authority on this contest. And of course the courtside 1891 app is the way to go. for streams, schedules and scores from this tournament and all the other Olympic qualifying tournaments. They're also coming to an end in Greece, Spain and Puerto Rico. Permutations galore for 4 tickets to Paris. The Olympics beginning on July 26th. How do the Philippines respond out of this timeout? It's in the hands of Fajardo. It gets knocked away from him by Mamukilashvili. And Shengeli is off again. Feeds on Johnny Kashvili. Philippines got back in time. Shengeli, a bounce pass to Bitadze, and that one doesn't rattle in. Brownlee up against Thomason. The 232s head-to-head. Soto, whoa, hit the deck very hard there.
Wouldn't mind seeing that again.
Yeah. Bitadze, no doubt, feeling it as well. But the medics ran straight to Soto. You mentioned, Mark, he was pretty tired even just after yesterday, so a hit like that's not going to help him at all today.
Yeah, I didn't see how bad a hit it was in normal speed at all. He finished the play. And Bitadze is going to leave the floor as well. Well, he has to because their medical staff came on as well.
Coach Cohn's out there, interestingly, right in the midst of it, speaking to the referee.
And the referees are having a conversation about it as well. There was a lot of contact. There might have been nothing in the contact, but there was a lot of contact that the referees have to discuss.
Yeah, so here's the replay, Mark. Oh, knee to the neck, on the head.
Well, the problem is that it goes underneath him, and then he lands on him. So it's almost, they got him. It's the going underneath that's the issue for me. And Soto is up. He's a bit ginger.
No doubt.
They're going to have a look at it. But to me, the issue was him going, the Georgian defender going underneath him that caused him to go down. And then Bitadze has every right to contest it, but because he's on the floor, he comes and lands on him. But it's going underneath him that I think the referees will look at.
Let's take a listen to what they're thinking.
We want to review the possible foul meet criteria for the unauthorized foul. Give me normal test. Okay, go back. Okay, we have 32, moving. Okay, moving. Go under the plate while he was in the air.
Yeah.
This contact for me meets the criteria for the unsportsmanlike foul. Okay, we go with the unsportsmanlike foul. Contact meets criteria for the unsportsmanlike foul, and the personal foul will be upgrade for the unsportsmanlike foul C1. Okay?
We got number 32 on.
I will explain to the coach.
That'll be, well, they've already put the foul up, I think. It's just Thomason's second foul, as well as being, and I think Thomason will say he didn't do anything intentionally, he just ended up in the wrong place, but he did go underneath him, and the referees have to protect the man in the air.
Yeah, that was their key point, wasn't it? In the air that he went underneath him.
And in many ways, Thomason was almost trying to get out of the way, but in getting out of the way, he just walked underneath him.
Soto getting some treatment on the bench.
Bitadze has to leave the game here because the medical staff came in for him and were on the floor.
Georgia players still talking to the referee. It's going to be Oftana taking the free throws as Soto is on the bench, getting some treatment, of course.
I'm not sure how Bitadze can stay in the game.
Interestingly, he's remaining.
There's 3 officials. One of them should have spotted it. There's 2 dealing with the unsportsmanlike.
So Oftana misses the free throw.
So
I think they're saying 2.
No, it's the extra 1. It's got to be 2 for the unsportsmanlike, no?
That's what I was thinking, because they held up the 2. Anyway, one in possession.
The basket was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's
Oh, they are going to think about it.
I was going to say, Coach Cohen's going to ask the question.
Yeah. So a bit of confusion around the arena.
But Tadze has to leave the game because the medical staff came on to treat him as well.
Soto just stretching it out on the bench. Grimacing with that arm in the air as well.
Yeah, the one foul because it was an in the act of, and they get and it's the one in the possession, I assume.
Yeah.
There's too many calls for us to work out.
It's fine, we're not referees.
Exactly.
Brownlee, that's better. Could this be the thing that spurs them, perhaps?
Yeah, this, and if they're going to show this zone now because it's the first time they've scored since that timeout, it'll be interesting to see. It will change the rhythm of what Georgia are doing offensively. That's the big thing that the Philippines have to hope.
And it works.
They're going to call the charge on that as well.
Yep. So good plan there by Coach Cohen.
Well, regardless of how you match up in your zone, as long as you protect the middle, it's at least it shouldn't do this. I've never thought it should do this as much as it does. But it does change the rhythm of the offense. And at that point in time, that's what they had to do because Georgia, running their options, coming off screens, were in a really good rhythm. And it's automatically done straight away.
Off Tana, off the feet. Didn't really need to pass it there.
Penetrated, looking to pass and nothing else.
Shengelia with the arms open and then points to Mamukelashvili. Andronikashvili in the corner. Ramos pulls it down. Oftana sets his feet and knocks it down. Here come the Philippines. So a timeout for Georgia. It was a great pass by Ramos, and Oftana made no mistake, drills it. Perez and Kimbayo happy with that one on the bench as well. We're going to take you into the Georgia timeout and hear from Coach Jikic.
Desteniso, Toko, Goga, Ratti. Pass back here. Find Goga, dive. Pass to Joe, pick and roll to the middle. No, it's their run. Don't react to it. We're doing what we have to do. Hey, they're scoring in transition. Wait, they're scoring before our defense is set. Let's control what's going on.
The Philippines, a little bit of action here now. It's a great celebration from Mamukelashvili. Wow. It's all the emotions of playing for your country right there on your screen. One ticket to Paris available. And we're back in action here in Riga. 5 minutes 40 left in this opening half. Georgia still with a handy lead, 40-27. Thomason, Shengelia, Andronikashvili, Mamukelashvili. Back to Thomason. And the Philippines escape.
Giving this zone far too much respect.
Brownlee steps back. And Fajardo's there to finish it off.
All over the offensive glass. That's the first time no one's competed on the glass for Georgia. First possession that they haven't really gone after it.
Philippines sticking with the zone, and why not? It's worked out really well for them so far. Bitadze couldn't finish it off. It was what Coach Jikic called for, to look for Bitadze. And now Brownlee gets another opportunity. Newsom. Oh, Bitadze met him. Ooh.
I think he connected the backboard and then thereby
so.
it's you can't play it after it's hit the backboard. They're going to review. Coach Kidd asked to review it.
Calling for a challenge.
That's a brave challenge because he's the other end of the floor.
Yeah.
That's
one challenge a game as well for the coaches.
you can see why I wanted to challenge it, because the momentum at the moment is with the Philippines. Let's take a listen.
We are going to review whether was basket goaltending violation. Can I have a camera on the rim? Can I have a this? Okay. Up, 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 up. What do you mean, Lisa?
He's the best angle.
Can we have also this angle?
Okay, go on.
Go on. Give me that angle, frame by frame, and up. Give me the other one.
The ball touched the backboard before.
Okay, wait,
The ball
up,
touched the
up.
backboard, and then the defensive player touched.
Confirm. I confirm 2 points.
So 2 points confirmed there. Krasjikic's challenge is unsuccessful. Very close score. We saw the giant zoom angle.
Yeah. Most importantly, that's an 11-0 response by the Philippines, getting it to 9. This zone has just taken the air out of the game.
Thomason, Shengelia, Andronikashvili, Mamukelashvili backs himself and knocks it down! A big response from Mamukelashvili. He gets his 14th point for the game. Has not missed a triple. Brownlee on the other end. He knocks it down! Both the big guys starting to feel it for each of the teams. Mamukelashvili on one end and Brownlee on the other. Both up to 14 points. Andronikashvili. This time Thomason gets an opportunity. Falls short this time. And the bench riding every wave and every call. It's going to be a Philippines ball. But this great look from Mamukelashvili, waiting for it in the corner. And then Brownlee from the top of the three-point line responds. Fajardo and Newsom. Newsom was excellent at controlling the tempo against Latvia, and he gets a bucket to get some reward for his form as well.
Georgia's issue here is now the Philippines are literally controlling the tempo of the game. The zone has slowed it, but when they've got the ball down the other end of the floor, the Georgian defense is a step off where it was at the beginning of the game. So everything becomes so much easier.
Shengelia, that is a beautiful move.
They've just got to keep their defensive intensity where it was. They cannot allow the wide open look, the ball movement, the tempo. Another wide open look.
Ramos obliges. And the Philippines crowd love that one.
Gigic doesn't have a timeout. He's already taken that, both of them. And the tempo is now the same tempo that they're able to put on the floor. They've just got, get as a group and a huddle, get that defensive effort back to where it was.
A tough shot for Andronikashvili to knock down. Mamukelashvili with it now. Thomason shares it around with Sandro. Mamukelashvili, Bitadze from the corner. Shengelia, fantastic rebound. Excellent putback. No surprise to see him fighting his team back into the game.
Just get the team, put it on my back.
Under 2 minutes left in the opening half. Newsom!
There's zero defense now by Georgia. I mean, Newsom just comes off a soft screen, pops, and it just drops it from mid-range with absolutely no hand in his face.
Oh, Shengelia is feeling it! Toko Shengelia taking the team on his back, like you mentioned, Mark.
Trading baskets is not going to do it for Georgia. They've got to get stops.
Fajardo loses it. The slippery hands at the wrong moment. Newsom dives in with the foul. It's their first foul of the second period, so not a bad one to give.
Well, good foul in terms of the transition. The zone, as I say, has protected everything. I can live with that for Georgia. You know, Georgia have had to work really hard to get looks, and they've now found some rhythm against the zone. It's the other end of the floor where the pace of the game that Georgia had on the floor at the beginning of the game has just gone defensively.
Mamukelashvili, a deep triple. Bitadze banks it in.
Living on the glass at the moment.
And again, like you mentioned a bit earlier, that was the thing that Latvia didn't have, those guys crushing the glass as much. Georgia have it in spades. Fajardo fouled. And Bitadze again coming up sore. He's staying down here, and again, he's going to have some assistance from his medical team.
It looks like he's gone down with the same problem. He went down feeling the same area.
Let's take a look at the replay here. Oh, and the elbow just in the wrong area, yeah.
Same sort of action.
Yeah. Bitadze slowly gets back up to his feet. Fajardo's the last man you want to run into, mind you, as well.
Maybe we're, both of us have missed the rule change here then.
Yeah, so he still stays on the floor.
Yeah. No, I think the official this time, so we were right, and they allowed him to stay on the floor the last time incorrectly.
Yeah. So Londaridze coming into the game now, his first minutes. It's going to be Junmar Fajardo at the line for two. Fajardo with the 4 points in this game so far.
Well, he's 0 for 2 on the game so far. He missed those two early. He's 67% free throw shooter across his career. As a big man, you've got to be around 70, otherwise people will just keep fouling you. Got a good touch. The great news, or one of the great stories for the Philippines at the minute, is that Soto...
Oh, look ahead pass, the quarterback one, sorry.
They've dealt with Soto being out the game, and that's got to be a plus for them.
Brownlee, deep three, falls short. Mamukelashvili happy to bring the ball down. Shengelia, stuck. Sanadze has a look in and fires a triple. The three-point line's worked for them. Philippines have got themselves back into this game, but a couple of triples have come up nicely. Brownlee, it's in the right hands to get a response. Oftana kicks it to Newsom. And that falls short. And that's the half here in Riga. It was all Georgia in the first period. The Philippines fought back. And we have a game on our hands at halftime. It is Georgia 55, leading the Philippines 43. So I think the game starts to tell us that both teams are actually shooting the ball quite well. It's just the momentum swings have been crucial in this one.
You know, both teams, if you hadn't been in the gym when it was like 14-0, you wouldn't understand those stats reflecting a 55-43. Turnovers and offensive rebounds were a real big issue for the Philippines throughout most of the game. Brownlee's got going with his 14 points. Mamukelashvili has been exceptional. Shengelia with his 14 points. It's the mentality that he brings. It's pretty much changed the whole feel of the Georgian national team. Here's the matchups that we talked about. I can't say enough good things about Mamukelashvili because at both ends for most of the half. He was exceptional. Offensively, he still maintained it. But Georgia just got a little tired. Brownlee is Brownlee, one of the best players in the competition. You're expecting him to make open shots. And as the half went on, he got more open looks, far too many open looks. Didn't get open looks early on.
The second quarter best plays shows Mamukulashvili getting involved. It shows Shengelia, Thomas and Bitadze all playing roles. Georgia outscored the Philippines 27-25 in the end, but the Philippines came back, and we know Georgia need that 19-point margin to win this game. They've got to keep hustling, they've got to keep going. It's a really interesting battle that's going to play out in the second period.
And it's one of those like, when they made the change because they couldn't cope playing man-to-man against that Georgian lineup because of the quickness. But if you do the math now, you know, if the Philippines get to 80 plus, then Georgia obviously have to get over 100. Now their offense says it'll be a lot easier to get the 19-point margin if they get stops. And they were getting stops early on. They've just been trading baskets. And I don't think that's going to give them a 19-point lead. So they've got to get back in that locker room and talk about how they contested, how they played off the ball defensively, and just be consistent with that. As Shengelia said, make sure we don't give any like weak stuff out there. We've got to be that team that does the right thing for the whole game.
Newsom's done super well in this game. Brownlee's had a really fantastic game for the Philippines as well. We expected it. 14 points, 5 from 7 from the field from him. And we've got a game on our hands, like we mentioned. The Philippines win and they're in. Georgia, they need to win by 19 or more, and they get in as well. So that is the end of the first half here in Riga. It is Georgia 55 leading the Philippines 43. Do not go anywhere.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they would do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
Nice dive. What a play. Vintage. Baloncesto Espanol. Condon hammers up. Here for Condon. Makes it in. Drills the three.
College basketball, 1 year under his belt. Here goes Hezonia. Oh boy.
That was a layup drill. High percentage, starts the game 0 for 3. Said, you know what, let me get to the rim.
Only trailing by 12. And penetrates, goes in, gets rejected. Well, Jeremy Sohan with the denial.
They're happy to let the shot clock tick down. Brownlee pulls up and gets the F1 on top of the triple. Justin Brownlee comes up clutch. Aguilar and Tamilo hugging on the bench. Timmer can't believe it.
Look at him.
Oh! Volleyball spike from Antetokounmpo. He wants to lob.
Here he goes. Wow.
biggest cheerleader here.
Ely doesn't mess around, takes it deep, he ties it! Shea Ely! What a finish this was. Unbelievable from Shea Ely. Vakas, talk like about to expire, there's Vakas, the lob, oh my goodness, you cannot be serious! And there's Vakas and Duarte jawing at each other. Souza pulls the crumbs here. Once Gakko, times that we've seen this showing up. Here comes De Souza. Oh, baby! Boa noite. Good night, Silvio De Souza. I tell you what, we have seen some exciting plays right now here at this FIBA OQT, but Silvio De Souza just put Jaime Perdilla on a poster. Obrigado. That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Welcome back to Riga in Latvia, where Toko Shengelia has given his team a halftime 12-point lead. Leading scorer at the moment with 14 points and 5 from 7 from 2-point range. Mark Clark, he's made a massive difference to this team.
Well, he missed those first couple of perimeter shots, then he just hasn't missed because he's done this. He's been aggressive. He's got all the way to the ring. He's been on the offensive boards. You know, when your game isn't working, and he knows this, years he's done this, when it's not really going for you from the perimeter, go to the ring. And he's done it, and he's set a real example. You can see everything, you know, the majority of his made shots all around the ring. He's made the one perimeter three, but he's been aggressive. He's been up the ring a lot, and it's great to see, and he's set a tone for his teammates.
Speaking of setting the tone, that's exactly what Justin Brownlee has done. He's picked up where he has left off last game. He's up to 14 points already for the night. Hasn't missed the 2-point range, has just missed the 2 triples. He's been fantastic, not just tonight, but last night against Latvia as well. To back it up already today, it's been superb.
And he doesn't force shots. He works hard to get the shots he wants, creates a little separation, so he's got enough space to knock down the shots. I love the way that he does things so efficiently with the talent he has as well, and he really will have to carry this team. If Soto is struggling, that's a lot of points to pick up. Others can pick up the rebounding battle, but Brownlee's going to have to carry him at the points end.
So it's been a game of momentum swings so far. Georgia opening up the game with 28 points to 17. And then just outscoring Philippines by the 1. We can see Justin Brownlee's scoring chart had a mix of opportunities, so it's good that he's getting both inside and outside already early on. We know at the start he was a bit hesitant. Obviously hard to back up from the night before, but he's coming to his own very quickly for this Philippines team. So halftime score confirmation, 55-43. Georgia need to win this game by 19 or more to advance to the semi-finals. Philippines need to win, and they're in. Latvia have done enough. Besides that loss last night, they booked their ticket.
Well, the other thing for the Philippines is if they win, they come first.
Yes.
And that, you know, and then there is a points calculation about who would come first if they all had the one-on-one record, but which we will get to closer to the end of the game. But that'll be crucial because, you know, there's no such thing as an easier semi-final. I know that none of these teams would want to play Brazil, and I think they would prefer to play any of the other 2 teams instead of Brazil, because Brazil looks very, very well. Caboclo on his own looks,
yeah.
And with a 41-year-old at the point pulling the strings, there's no shortage of decision making. So the winner of the group has a bonus if that's the way to look at it. But given some of the results, not in this, just in this competition. It just shows you the gap, or a perceived gap, between various parts of FIBA basketball is getting smaller and smaller and smaller all the time. The gap between the top 20 team and the 68th team, as we saw with the Cameroon, there isn't one anymore. It's good. And from the other competitions, you see where Angola took Spain, and took where Lithuania were pushed hard. They're supposed to win those games relatively in a straightforward way. And this is the Philippines win last night, huge. It's given them an opportunity to make a semi-final. This is the man that has almost, on his own, set this Georgian team up to try and take away that opportunity. His accountability to the group in the timeout was evident, and the reaction from players when he talks to them is evident. And he's just, and you can understand the negative position they were in the other day when he wasn't on the floor. It would have, we could talk forever about players being professional and getting over it, but you can't take away that mental and the way that mental loss is going to hurt your performance, and it really did. This is the real Georgia we're seeing right now.
It's also a test for the Philippines. We've seen Brownlee leading the stats in two of their key stats, points and assists. He stepped up in spades both last night and tonight as well. Kai Soto, we know, has had a bit of an issue as well with hitting the deck really hard, so there's going to be some sore bodies out there.
And he's not warming up at the moment, Soto. I mean, Brownlee's trying to stretch his calves out. He did have a slight issue last night, but he seemed to come through that. Hey, but that's what tournament basketball is. One of the factors is playing through those situations. It also gives other players an opportunity to step into that, and you're not expecting anyone else on this Philippine lineup to go and do what Kai Soto does, but you are expecting 2 or 3 guys to get 1 or 2 more rebounds than they normally would, and that's all it takes. You've got a veteran on the bench there in terms of Aguilar, and he's been around Philippine basketball for so long. He knows if he goes in and pulls 4 rebounds, that could be crucial. So it's about people stepping into those moments and making a contribution. Perez could be a vital part of that for them. Down the other end, Thomason started really focused. He really needs to continue at both ends. That Georgia team can't take possessions off at the defensive end. If they need a blow, they need to tell coach and get that rotation back in, because the guys coming off the bench for Georgia in the first half did a nice job at making their contribution.
So teams getting into their final huddles now before we commence the second half. Georgia leading 55 to 43. The referees, well, they've been pretty busy. We've had a coach's challenge. The referees have had a couple of official reviews of their own. They've got a really big job here today. And no wonder why Coach Chikic is looking for some clarification. We know his big man, Gogo Batatse, has had a few issues down the floor as well. He's been assisted by the medical team twice out there today. So it's a physical battle. These teams putting it all on the line. And Coach Chikic is going to address his team here.
If it's a zone, if it's a zone,
You on the top, Tony. You on the top, okay? All right. Let's try fifth. Start right off here. Fifth, all right? Aggressive with it, though. Let's go, let's go.
The Courtside 1891 app is your go-to for all the latest news and highlights, not just from here, but from around the world and the other Olympic qualifying tournaments. All rising up to semi-final action very soon. This is one of 2 games today here in Riga, Brazil and Cameroon. And the second half is tipping off with Georgia leading the way by 12 here in Riga. Philippines win in their end. Georgia need a 19-point buffer to secure their spot. Latvia confirmed in the group for semi-final action, as Androni Kashvili looks to get things started for Georgia in this second half.
Well, they're going to stay with the zone. I'm a little surprised they've come out and shown it straight away, because you know that Georgia would have spent time. But then again, their resources are pretty stretched. They're going to have to protect Fajardo defensively.
especially with what looks like Kai Soto perhaps maybe not playing a role for the rest of the game. He looks very ginger. He's got an ice pack on his chest.
Yeah, he came out very late, didn't come out and warm up, was the last man back to the bench. I'll be surprised if he put. It'd be very, very courageous for him to come back in.
It leaves big shoes for Carl Tamayo to fill. A great opportunity for him though. And Dwight Ramos, he's the experienced head out there. He knocks it down. Good start for the Philippines.
Ramos in preparation had some really hot spells against Poland and Turkey, and make some big shots last night too.
Thomason's made some big shots today, so too Shengelia. A nice no-look pass to Mamu Kalashvili, who obliges.
The mobility issue is going to be there where it's man or zone for Fajardo. Nice little step through, but the pass was too easy. He can't get too deep.
Fajardo dishes it out on the offensive end and then gets it back. Looks for Brownlee. Ramos. Oh, caught in two minds there. Shengelia with the slam.
He's supposed to have physical issues, right? He took off. He ran like a deer down the floor. Great pass, little throw down.
Isn't it amazing what 24 hours could do for a sore body?
And playing for your national team seems to be to get rid of the pain.
Yeah. Ramos for Philippines. Going underneath. Brownlee finds some space. And the triple. Big three from Justin Brownlee. Up to 17 points. 3 from 6 from long range. Bitadze!
Shengelia is the provider. His touches down the floor. He's making passes, scoring himself. Philippines will be happy to trade, though. That's the dilemma that Georgia have. If Brownlee keeps getting good looks, they'll be happy to trade.
Newsom gets a nice look, but he can't convert. A foul called in amongst all of that. Philippines ball.
They can't challenge it because they've already challenged. The referees might need to talk about what happened on there. I think they're talking about there was an elbow. That's what Coach Cohn is trying to create. Now he could challenge it to get it upgraded if he wanted to.
He's got the hands in the air. Nah, he's still going with the elbow.
He's just going to take the foul.
Oh, there, see on the replay, yeah. Shengelia puts his hands up and then inadvertently hits Tamayo in the face. Coach Cohn's still going at it. You can quite clearly see it on the replay.
If he wants to challenge it, he's...
Yeah.
But, like, there has to be
no point arguing, you've got the challenge.
There's some form of... yeah, he's going to do it.
Yeah.
There has to be some form of intent on this. And it doesn't have to be, like, absolutely, I'm throwing an elbow.
Yeah.
But bringing the elbow down in that direction, they could conceive it. But let's take a listen.
To review is the foul, personal foul meet criteria for the unsportsmanlike foul. Give me main camera normal speed. It's okay, this is not my call, this is not my call. Wait. Wait, later. With a normal speed, please. Normal speed, please. Nothing, 23. I will stay with the normal play here. It's nothing, it's movement, but it's a foul, but it's not. I confirm it's not a hard contact on the body. Okay, personal foul, okay? Coach, it's a movement, but it's not hit with the elbow. It's like...
So we'll dive out of that as he explains his decision to Coach Cohn, but as you heard, it stays as a normal foul, not upgraded.
A movement, but no contact.
Yeah. That's what you would have seen back home. So
Shengelia picks up foul number 2. Thomason has 2. Bintadze has 2. Yeah, it's not a problem at the moment.
Brownlee, quick release and quick bucket.
They're on the edge the way they're guarding Brownlee as well. They're almost taking his space away before he lands.
Philippines still sticking with the zone. 10-point buffer here in Riga. Shengelia to Bitadze. They love the corner, Georgia, and they go again. Goga Bitadze.
Well, the Philippines have decided to allow them to shoot it because they're not extending that zone. You know, you pick your poison.
Newsom with pace. Banks it home.
Tough finish. Wow, over everybody.
Really athletic leap from Chris Newsom. Shengelia launches. Brownlee with the board. Ramos. Fouled.
It's whether people agree or disagree with what Coach Coney's doing, the philosophy is he'll look at it and go, well, statistically they shoot this, the zone is slowing the tempo down. As long as he's okay at the offensive end and getting enough looks and keeping the scoreboard ticking over, he'll accept it because he scores this time, he's back to single digits. And it has taken Georgia out of rhythm.
Brownlee, the one-handed roll. He's pulling out all of the tricks tonight. Wow.
The whole game, the feel of the whole game has changed now, hasn't it? It's Georgia trying to pass the ball, they'll get a shot, they'll inside out it, line up, do they make it or miss? That time they make.
And Johnny Cashville this time joins a 3-point party. They've loved going beyond the perimeter this game, Georgia.
Philippines just have to, with the way the game's going, they just have to keep the scoreboard ticking over. And then the problem becomes Georgia's.
Brownlee.
It's the 3rd foul on Thomason.
Yeah. Was that necessary? Because I think Bitadze had Fajardo well covered down low. So
Brownlee's dribbling it to the sideline. Why do you want to reach them? You know, there's no. You get a glory of a steal. How often? Not very.
So Thomason stays out there. 3rd team foul for Georgia. Fajardo and Newsom. Still with Newsom. Brownlee up to 21 points for the game. Newsom getting involved on the glass.
That's smart because the defense extended, didn't they, onto Brownlee, and he just sliced through that seam. That's the 2nd finish he's had over Bitadze. Puts it high on the backboard.
12 points for Chris Newsom now. We spoke about how excellent he was last night. The stats really didn't give him how much credit how well he was doing. And tonight, he's getting some scoreboard action, which is really rewarding for him.
You know, across his career, he's averaged double-digit points, but where he's making tough ones on the penetration.
Shengelia, speaking of tough, Bitadze. Oh, just rattles out. Did everything but go in. Ramos with some speed down the opposite end. That one falls short. Fajardo, an athletic rebound, didn't finish it off. Brownlee!
Does it all. He's not just one of those scorers. He's on the glass. He's doing all the blue-collar stuff, too.
Great hustle from the Philippines offensively there. It's a single-digit margin. Shengelia from the corner. Newsom, excellent rebound. He is taking all the contact in the world right now. Brownlee, the man. Ramos, the triple, makes it! And the Georgia fans can't believe what they're seeing. The Philippines, with all the momentum in this game at the moment. Brownlee here just waited perfectly, and Ramos loves that spot, nails the 3. Bring it on. Timeout for Team Georgia. We're going to listen to Coach Djikic address his team in a moment.
best to do that. If the best for Chiquita, pick the ball in the corner.
So it's been all Philippines, a sea of white singlets down the floor. Outscored Georgia 19 points to 12. Justin Brownlee's got involved, Dwight Ramos has got involved, and Chris Newsom. They're the three players in double figures. Brownlee with the 23, Ramos and Newsom with the 12. The fans in the house loving what they're seeing. It's win and they're into the semi-finals. 67 plays 62, 4 minutes, just under 4 minutes left in this third period.
Nothing sums up the problem that they have on the last play, just 2-on-2 basketball, and Mamu Kelashvili just didn't guard a great shooter.
Ochkikidze and Saladze into the game for Georgia. Bitadze, just a bit too much heat on it. And a chance for Philippines to keep closing the gap. They were down by as much as 20 points at one stage of this game. Tamayo goes underneath Bitadze, count that. That's what they wanted from him. We know Kai Soto's on the bench at the moment, unlikely to come back on. Tamayo has to play his role for this team. It's a 3-point margin. Shengelia was fouled. It's been a good showing from Tornike Shengelia. You know, he missed the last game. Thought maybe limited minutes in this game, but he's stuck out there for a long, long time. Continues to carry the team. Tadze and Londaridze are going to trade places. Shengelia with the 16 points for the game. Misses the first free throw. And goes 0 from 2. When do you see that from Toko Shengelia?
Well, the answer is not very often.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a 70-plus free throw shooter across his whole career, which is a long career. But the Kraken's on the defensive boards. He's filling some space in the middle of that zone. Fajardo's rolling back the years of a massive national team career that he's had.
Chance to tie it here for Tamayo! All square in Riga.
Well, what did we say? The offense, yeah.
Oh, wow, and it's all coming up chumps for the Philippines. The fans in their house are on their feet. And I'm sure the ones watching from their TV screen, I know it's late at night in the Philippines, but no doubt they're loving what they're seeing from their team. You can see the offensive foul call on the replay. 67 plays 67. Coach Jikic can just watch now. 2 minutes 46 left. Ramos and Brownlee, they can take the lead here, but it's a bit of an errant pass.
Somehow, Georgia have to get back to that tempo they had earlier on. They're not doing it with their defense, though. They could extend the floor, perhaps just to get the tempo a little higher. This zone has just taken any tempo out of the game. And if they make or miss, they've made that one. But they're living out there. They're absolutely living out there, and the Philippines are happy because they'll back the math on it, basically.
Big time basket there from Duda Sanadze. Ramos, a known three-point shooter, this time finds himself in the lane.
That's just too easy if you're Georgia and you want to make a semi-final. That's just too easy. Thomason coming back. Good call by coach.
Sanadze, Londaridze. Basket won't count, the foul beforehand. A 1-point ball game here in Riga. Ticked below 2 minutes left in this period. Not a great choice of shot from Londaridze. And we're going to walk the floor now because that's Georgia's 5th team foul. Dwight Ramos at the free throw line. He's had a super solid game and a super solid tournament, Dwight Ramos. One of the starters who's played max minutes in this game. Ties the scores once again.
Well, we talked at the beginning of the game about the Philippines being tired, and it looks like this Georgia where all the intensity has gone. They haven't got a fast break point in this second half. They've had no points in transition in this second half because this zone just sits there and, okay, they made more shots this half, the Philippines, but most of that is down to Georgia's tempo defensively.
Philippines in front, but for how long? They keep the lead. A chance to extend it now. Ramos from the corner. Mamukelashvili with Sanadze ahead of him. Kicks it back up to Thomason. Shengelia spinning. Ooh. Interference there from the Philippines. Shengelia, a mature move under the basket. So Shengelia heads to the line. It's Aguilar's foul.
Surely with the circumstance in the game at the moment, Bintadze he's coming back, has to come back in. There's no Fajardo in that middle of the zone.
We know Aguilar struggled with the matchups of the Georgia bigs.
Absolutely. But then you've got to actually work to get the ball inside. You've got to try and run some things in transition to try and make this game more up and down. Because now, you know, there's only 11 minutes left in the game. Can they get to 18 and 19 points?
So Shengelia makes the second one. And there is confirmation. Goga Bitadze is going to replace Shengelia. Much needed and deserved rest for the captain. Oh, and that was a very awkward pass. A chance for Mamukelashvili to punish them. Just a bit too casual at the baseline there for the Philippines. Brownlee. Newsom. Ochkikidze right there with him. Shot clock ticks down to single figures. Brownlee. What can he do? With a hand in his face, it rattles in! Justin Brownlee, are you for real? That is unhuman-like. Back level again. Thomason gets stuck under the rim. Ochkikidze this time has a go. And Bitadze couldn't quite collect the rebound. A big call. Fingers floating everywhere, but the ref said Philippines ball. And Brownlee, hand in his face, well beyond the three-point line. Says thank you very much, hand in the air. 26 points for Justin Brownlee, equaling what he got last night. And we haven't even started the fourth quarter.
And he's having to carry the team with no Soto. He's going to get all of 12.5 seconds of a blow. But you know, they don't need him on the floor because Perez is out there. So Perez will get the ball and try and get the shot away inside the last 12.5.
Oh, it's in his direction.
Turns it over.
Yeah. Sanadze. He tries to make the tough bucket. Aguilar. Here's Perez's moment. Oh, he gives it off this time. Off Tana! Beats the buzzer! It is all blue in the arena right now. The Philippines take the lead at the end of the third period. The refs will make double sure that he beat the buzzer. But it was a clutch moment from Calvin Oftana. Let's have a little look at this.
Okay, we're gonna review. In the trend line, the P4 ball shot was released. Okay, we have a Okay, red light, ball in the hand. Red light appeared before the shot was released. Basket not count, okay?
I confirm no basket.
Basket no count, okay? No basket.
Well, it's a game of milliseconds, isn't it? The scores remain level at the third period. We have got a cracker of a fourth period to come your way. And at the end of the third quarter, it is Philippines 74, Georgia 74 as well.
Well, statistically, it's all going to obviously get close, but the stats are not really going to give you the answer here because Georgia have just stopped getting stopped playing defense. If they're going to win this, one, they've got to try and win it first, but if they're going to win this by the number, they have to keep Philippines down to a very low number. You know, even if they get 30, they've got to keep them down to like 11. And that's only going to happen if they pick that defense up again. They're still scored 74. It's not their issue. Their issue is they've allowed the game to become very Philippine-like in the tempo, and that's because they're just not playing defense. There's some great offensive action. Sengalia, for a period, just ran the game with a pass and the points. But the play that sums it up was the Ramos 3 with the Brownlee 2-on-2 game, because Mamu Keshtasvili just didn't play defense and allowed him to catch it without any pressure. They cannot qualify unless they just dig and play some defense. Otherwise, this is done. They've got to get stops, and that should have been everything that should have been said. They cannot let the zone dictate the pace. They have to get stops and increase the tempo of the game. Otherwise, the Philippines are going to the semi-final. They may even go as group winners.
All to play for here in the fourth period. The courtside 1891 up on your screen. Download it now. Get all the latest news and highlights, all the permutations, not just from here, but from around the world. All to play for here, 74 points apiece. Mamu Kalashvili at the sideline for Georgia. They need to win by 19 or more. Philippines win and they're in. They're gonna win the group if they win as well. Fourth quarter tipping off. Thomason with the early drive. Oh, and Aguila met him up high. It remains with Bitadze. Oh, it was nice D by Aguila, but the foul called.
Got no fear that Georgia will score and get points because the Philippines are sitting in this zone. How they get them's important. But they need stops. They need stops now. They need them quickly. They need some momentum. They need to build some sort of margin to make the Philippines worry about the scoreline. At the moment, they don't have to worry about the scoreline. They're up, in this instance, they're up 18 points.
So Bitadze makes both a much improved performance from his last game.
Yep.
17 points now for him.
It's too easy. The pass is too easy.
Here's the man, Justin Brownlee, 26 points already. A dish, but it didn't work out. Ochki Kidze read it perfectly, and Sanadze can go on the fast break. Foul called.
Absolutely ridiculous thing that off Tana did. All that Thomason was doing was like slowing up. He didn't actually block him. He knew what he was doing. And Oftana just pushed him. In many ways, it is an unsportsmanlike foul because there's not a basketball action. They wouldn't call it that way, and nor should they, but Thomason asked for it. But what they've got is the 2 plus the ball back, which is a great, there's already 4 in the game. They score this time, it could be 7. And then the scoreboard becomes a bit of a pressure factor on the Philippines.
So baseline ball for Georgia. Bitadze.
I do have to say why. Pass.
Aguila waited it perfectly.
There's the shot that we all over the websites, the social media, and the papers and things. The veteran, the captain, throwing it down to possibly help them get to the semi-finals.
Cuts the margin to 2. And he got a crucial hand in there again, Jumper Aguila. He's stepping up in this final term. Justin Brownlee stepped up all game, and all last game as well. Perez there to help him on that occasion.
These are big minutes for Perez because he's giving Newsom some much needed time on the bench.
Brownlee for 3.
Oh, they dodged the bullet. Why leave him wide open?
He's been on fire, not just tonight, but against Latvia as well. Sanadze. Vitadze, another rebound. Falls short. Tamayo with some pace. Backs himself to go, and he gets it! Stepping up nicely in the absence of Kai Soto.
Oh, yeah.
Soto copied that knock in the second period. Haven't seen him back since. Sanadze. Perez can put them back in front. He sees Oftana up ahead, and oh my word, Sanadze!
Called the foul.
I think so, yeah. Very heavy hit from Duda Sanadze. Came with force, hit the arm on the way through. So Oftana's gonna head to the line. We love that look from Aguila. The captain stepping up to the moment. Slamming it down.
Wow, you're 37 years old. You got a chance to do something your country's never done. What a big moment for him.
Oftana makes the first one. And we didn't see much of these bench players the other night against Latvia, but tonight they're stepping up. You've got Tamayo playing some really big minutes. Oftana's had a big stint. Perez now finding himself some rhythm and some form. It's good signs for them.
Absolutely right.
Androni Kashvili and Thomason. The 2 guards sharing it around. Shengelia back on. Thomason. That's a nice look.
Absolutely got to get stops, though. They've got to get stops, and I just don't see the urgency at this end of the floor. That's going to give him a shot at getting back in it.
Perez confronted by Androni Kashvili. Oh, finds himself free on the baseline and makes no mistake.
CJ Perez. See, he doesn't only make the threes on the buzzer, takes it to the ring and finishes.
Yeah, he's like, hey guys, I score at start of quarters, end of quarters, whatever you want me to. Shengelia, nice look. And Mamukulashvili there to clean up on the boards.
Wow, he cleaned up the mess there. That's a huge rebound, but it's this end. Going to sound like a continuous tape recording here. This defense is not going to get you a run. There's only 6:40 to go. Time is already your enemy.
A bit too heavy there from Shengelia. But it's a bit of intent. 1 point separates these 2 teams. Tadze coming back into the game. Sanadze's been pretty good with his minutes, it must be said. 10 points, Duda Sanadze. So Thomason's arguing the case here.
They called it on...
They called on him, didn't they? So he's saying it's not his foul.
Yeah, the trouble being if they call it on Shengelia, he goes to 3. Yeah, I think the table got it wrong, not the referee.
32 and 23. Easy to get confused.
Oh, now you get after the passing lane. Again, it's an easy catch.
And Brownlee's the one catching it as well.
Yeah.
It's not what they want. Not what they need.
Oof.
Oh, Aguila nearly went flying again.
I think Aguila needs to come back to... I'm 37. 37 now. The option was a good option. Just the execution gave him no chance.
Listen, brother, I'm not jumping that high anymore. Maybe one day, but not today. Oh, good hands by Brownlee. Kimball getting some nice minutes now. Brownlee, the only starter out there for the Philippines. Mamukulashvili played good there. Oh, and again the active hands. It somehow keeps with Sandro, and he finds himself going all the way through. Mamukelashvili with one to come after this beautiful drive, splitting all three Philippines defenders. Athletic move from the San Antonio Spurs big man.
The question for Coach Cohn is, he's only down 3. He doesn't have to panic, but he doesn't want to let any momentum build for Georgia before he brings back Fajardo, before he brings back Newsom, before he gets Ramos back in the game. It's how long does he let these? How long does he let the bench eat up time?
Ramos sitting on the bench waiting to come on. Aguila can't make it. In and out action.
Chance to get it to 7.
Mamukelashvili. Philippines ball. So there is the change. Fajardo on, Ramos on. Coach Cohn says the time is now. Newsom still sitting on the bench. A nice stint from Japeth Aguila.
Yeah, I just love, you see your veterans, your players have been there. They'll do whatever it takes, and that's all he's doing now in this stage of his career. He'll spell people, rebound, and the big finish, the highlight that they're going to look at in the Philippines.
Oh, Thomason. Is that his 4th?
That will be his 4th now, yeah. But they're not trying to make anything happen with their defense until they get into the half court. 5 minutes to go, you're up 4. It's not beyond the realms of, you can get a run here. They've had runs in this game, but you're not going to get runs just trade in and go in half court. Not against the Philippines the way they're playing with the basketball at the moment. They always have a release. Far too often that's Brownlee, and you'd have thought they'd been all over Brownlee.
Kimbao to Perez. Brownlee providing the screen this time. Can he roll and get it back?
Oh.
Here he is. They've left him some space, but he was in 2 minds. Ramos, corner. No money. Andronikashvili. Mamukelashvili. Thomason. Sanadze goes through heaps of sets of hands, and it ends up with the right man. Big time 3 from Duda Sanadze. His 13th point for the game. That's his 3rd triple. Perez now driving against the 2 bigger guys and makes no mistake.
His first step was so quick. Did a great job at cutting across the defensive player just to get him on his back. 2 penetrations for him. He's finished it every time.
So the Philippines fans finding their voice in the arena. I'm sure they're all finding their voice at home as well. Sanadze. Batadze, the 2nd time round, he gets it going. He's such a big presence under the rim.
Absolutely.
So hard to stop. So they've opened up a nice little buffer here. 90 plays 83. 19 points and 9 rebounds for Bitadze, verging on the double-double territory. Perez gets an open look, knocks it down! Massive from CJ Perez!
And Brownlee just milked every second of the shot clock, drew the help, gave it to the open player. They've already got the bonus of taking 24 seconds, and then they top it with the 3.
It's a bit of loose hands from Georgia, but Mamukelashvili caught in 2 minds, and he loses it. Momentarily gets it back. This is good pressure from the Philippines. Shot clock expires, Kimbao ahead. Andronikashvili fouls, maybe unsportsmanlike. They'll have to have a look, potentially.
The representatives of the Philippines Federation in front of us believe it may well be, but I would say it's he was coming from in front of him.
Yeah.
The way the interpretation is, I'd be very surprised. They're not even going to look at it.
Yeah.
I think the phrase, that's just part of the game.
Yeah.
Well, 3 minutes to go in the fourth, and Gigic takes his last throw of the dice.
He's got to do it now.
Well,
Well, it's not going to be the one. It's not going to be the 19 or more points, but a win.
Well, you say it can't be. Obviously, they're going to make the 2 free throws. If they do, it's back to 2. But they haven't at any stage in the last few minutes changed the way that they're trying to get this. And in some ways, they went up 5, and they think, oh, okay, 5, we're not far off. But they were never, unless they changed what they were doing defensively, scores are tied at the end of 3. There's no way they were going to get enough stops to generate a 19-point lead playing the way. And most importantly, whenever they needed a release on the pressure, Brownlee was the man that comes up open, because there's people just allowing him to bump back to the ball. Yeah, he makes good cuts, but he's not having to make 2 or 3 cuts. It's just, you can't say enough great things about the way the Philippines have dealt with this game, because down 14-0, one of their stars has to sit out. Coach Cohen makes a change to the zone, and he has lived with that zone since he's gone to it. He's not shown anything else. And he's worked it out that, yeah, they were going to make some threes. They're just not going to make enough.
Saw the good work of CJ Perez on the screen. 9 points, 4 from 4 from the field. Made a massive impact coming off the bench, and that's what we were talking about. It was mainly the starters for the Philippines against Latvia carrying the team, but now Coach Cohen's got the luxury of giving his starters a bit of a break and seeing what his bench can do, because he's going to need everyone come the semi-finals.
Absolutely. Whoever he plays out of the other group is going to be a hell of an ask for the Philippines.
Mao misses the second.
But they're not there yet. They're not there yet. There's still 3 minutes to go against a team that can score quickly. But the scoring quickly is not their issue.
Thomason. Matadze came way over the top, but went right past it. Ramos, it's in the right hands. Perez, speaking of the right hands, knocks down another triple. His 100% streak keeps on going. Back-to-back threes for CJ Perez. 1 point ball game, 2.5 minutes left. Sanadze goes inboard. Brownlee with the boards, he can put his team back in front. Kimbao has a look. I don't know if that was the right one. Use up some shot clock, get your mates involved.
That's what the book says. The book says you're down 1. You only got to lose by 18, and you don't take a shot after 2 seconds on the shot clock. That's what the book says. Hey, but the Philippines are rewriting the book.
Absolutely.
The first time they won an Asia Championship, the first time that they've beaten a European team, the first time they've won a game at Olympic qualifiers. Well, they're in the semi-final. That's the first time in an eternity they've been there. Why stop there? Why not be the first time they've qualified? Why not make everybody in the Philippines excited, you know? They will be anyway. There's no one going to bed.
No.
That's for sure.
Absolutely.
No one going to bed in the Philippines. Absolutely for sure. And you know what? The guys here, they'll be telling people they were here for years, because this is a special moment. They've got to close it out, 2:20 to go. Maybe at some point you might see Georgia press up the floor. Maybe at some point they might try and run something to get quick shots and forget that it's a zone. But we haven't seen it for 38 minutes, so what we saw in the first 10 was just a team that can play defense and can play quick and can force errors. They haven't shown that for the rest of the game.
Big 2 minutes 20 coming up. It's a 1 point margin between these two teams. It's been a cracking game. Both teams have had the momentum. Who wins it from here? Thomason, Bitadze, Mamukilashvili with the slam. Puts his team up by 3. 26 points. Whoa, Bitadze comes up big. A chance of back-to-back buckets for Georgia. It gets slapped away. Now Brownlee has a chance. Perez, he's been on fire.
He has 12 points. He's only played 15 minutes. He hasn't missed. Just doing a job. What a job.
Incredibly efficient, CJ Perez. Sanadze from the corner. Fajardo with the rebound. Philippines can retake the lead with less than 2 minutes to go in this game. Ramos and Perez.
It's important for the Philippines to win.
Wow.
Offensive foul. I don't know if, we'll ask him in the press conference perhaps, but winning here could give them a semi-final against a second-place team from the other group. Likely, let's just say likely, probably, that would be Montenegro. And we've seen how they deal with that style of play because they've dealt with it here. Would they want to try and beat Brazil? I think they'd rather try and beat Montenegro.
Androni Kashvili, Thomason. Shot clock down to 5. Less than a minute left. Oh, big time bucket from Thomason off the bank. What have the Philippines got left? Down by 3, 43 seconds left. Brownlee's been the one this whole tournament for them. Bitadze giving him grief. Brownlee finds a way in.
Tough, just tough. Capital T and everything on it, exclamation mark. It's just tough. It really has. With Soto out the game, he has carried his country, or his adopted country, to the brink here. He's got him over the line. If he gets the win, that'll be a real icing on the cake. There's enough of a differential that they can get the win here still.
Bitadze loses it. It's gonna be a foul.
The one thing Coach Cone doesn't want is overtime.
Yes.
Absolutely doesn't want overtime. He's guaranteed, at this point in time, he's guaranteed a semi-final spot. He doesn't need an overtime. He needs to try and get the win in normal regulation, and he does not want to go to overtime.
Bitadze gets the first. Georgia up by 2. Shengelia can only watch now.
If he makes this, I would walk it off if I was him.
And just rattles in.
Well, his alternative is try and get a quick 2 and a foul and a 2, but he can't. Surely he's not going to go into overtime. Surely he's not going to come down the floor and take the 3.
Very interesting battle playing out now. 14 seconds left. Do you go for the overtime? Do you go for the 2? Always play to win, you always do, but
I mean, it goes against everybody's like normal mentality to try not to win, but he's got a tired team. He's without Kai Soto. Fajardo's going to have to play a load of time in the semi-final. There's too many reasons not to go to overtime and take the. You're going to have to beat Brazil or one of these teams at some point. So whether you beat them in the semi or the final is neither here nor there. Only one team gets out of the group. But the likely scenario, if they won the game, would be they would win the group. Latvia would have to play Brazil in the semi-final. If Latvia win that, well, they know they can beat Latvia. It'll be a game that they'll go into with confidence. Latvia will play better. I really don't know, and I would say I don't think they can beat Brazil. But then again, we said they couldn't beat Latvia. So, well, I did, but you were far more sensible on that one.
And don't forget, Brazil still have to overcome Cameroon tonight. We know Cameroon gave Montenegro a bit of a scare. They pushed it to the brim. So,
yeah, assumptions definitely is not the thing to make here.
It's hard. We saw New Zealand beat Croatia last night in the other group.
They're going to take the ball on the baseline. I hope he's going to come down the floor and just walk it off, or he's going to try and lay it up really quickly. They look like, to me, they're walking it off. Well, put it this way, Brownlee's not in the game. They're walking it off.
You've called it.
Well, maybe they're not walking it off.
Ramos to Perez.
They're walking it off.
Yeah.
Please don't take the three. Well, Georgia have done the thing to win the game.
They've committed a foul. 2.8 seconds left. Still a 3-point margin.
It really goes against everybody's inner culture and whatever to say, well, I'm not going to try and win, but there's a bigger prize here.
So shots to come for Newsom. Haven't seen him play much of this fourth period at all.
Yeah, first minutes in the fourth.
Gets the first one to roll in. 2-point margin.
He sticks it on the ring. Georgia could knock it into the own basket. That would tie the game. Oh, and he missed it. He tried to do it and missed it.
Oh my word. It's exactly what you said might have played out. And everyone in the stadium's in disbelief at what just happened. But it's a win for Team Georgia, but also a win for the Philippines because Georgia needed to win by 19 or more to get through. So the Philippines booked their spot in the semi-final. Butanza can't believe what he's just done. It was a really strange finish to this game, but at the final score from Riga is Georgia 96, Philippines 94.
Wow.
A bit speechless after that.
There's a moral here that you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Right? But the opportunity, Newsom missed the free throw. He missed it. That gave them the chance to, unfortunately, tip it in. It was too obvious, I think.
Yeah.
But let's make the point here. Georgia came out and showed they could have got the game, and they got to 20 up. They were going through, and then they slowed down defensively. They could not maintain that defensive pressure. Soto's out of the game, and they still won't maintain that defensive pressure. But Coach Cohn did sometimes the simple decisions are the best decisions. And he went to the zone. He actually said, we haven't worked on this, but let's just show him a zone. And they offered him shots, and they didn't make enough. And he just played the math and said, you're not going to shoot well enough as long as we tick it over. And he has the man who'll always tick it over in Justin Brownlee. And then he found all sorts of contributions from his roster. The big question for him is Kai Soto going to be ready to the semi-final? They'll do absolutely everything they can because they're a live contender right now. Because not only did they play well against Latvia, they showed an enormous amount of belief and character as a group to get themselves back into this game and not get depressed, down, worried, panicked when they were actually going out at 20 down. They have a character as well as talent. Those two factors with a great leader as a coach puts the Philippines right in the equation. Stats-wise, wow, it's not going to be that different, is it? But you're shooting 37% from three, and you took a lot of them. 35 threes Georgia took. You just got to love Brownlee. He's going to be all over the stats sheet. Philippines win the rebound battle in a game against so much size. That's just sheer effort and commitment. But he had 28, and you made the point, he had 26. He had 26 a long way before the end of the game. Ramos scored, Perez scored. He became a facilitator. He may not be Michael Jordan, but his impact on Philippine basketball, if he takes them to Olympics, will be as big as anybody's impact on the game anywhere in the world. And whatever the time of night it is in the Philippines, there's a party going on that everybody should be at.
So Philippines booked their ticket to the semi-finals. The fourth quarter best plays, well, it was Georgia in the end who outscored the Philippines 22-20. And it's a shame to see them knocked out of the tournament. I mean, a really good effort today. And, Shageli, if he played in the first game, it might have been a different story. You never know, but they should be really proud of what they've done to come here and play really hard and make their fans proud.
Well, it would have been a different story because they wouldn't have needed that 18, 19-point win. But everyone else has to then learn from it and say we can't be that affected in the way they were in that first game. So, but as I said previously, the Philippines have proved something to themselves, played with so much belief and a great level. They were a great level today. In some ways, a more impressive performance than they just played super against Latvia. They had to dig deep, and they had to get contributions off the bench. And Coach Cohen had to make changes and order the game, and every one of those gets a tick. That's a great achievement by the Philippines, and they're not done yet.
Absolutely, it's going to be one of those where were you moments today. Were you in the stands? Were you watching from home? The Philippines in the semi-finals, their second Olympic qualifying tournament win in a row. They've beaten Latvia, the world number 6. They came up close against Georgia, the world ranked 23rd. And it was the likes of Perez who stepped up off the bench. We spoke about Brownlee, and we'll speak about him in tenfold, but there were so many contributors on the floor for them. Newsom got into double digits. Ramos as well. We mentioned No Soto at 24 hours is going to do heaps for his tired body. And now they just have to wait and see who they get in the semis. Of course, Brazil and Cameroon coming off next, and that's how it's played out. So Latvia, Philippines, Georgia, that's how it ends. Georgia 96 getting the job done over the Philippines 94. That wraps things up. Thank you for joining us. Don't go anywhere. Cameroon and Brazil rounding out the pools, but it was the Philippines booking their tickets to the semi-finals tonight.